Sanibonani maswahla mahle, sanibonani benkosi lenhle, siyanvuselani nebengwazi yamahlokosha lomhla kusihlwa ke ehlelweni Embili Kanye Kanye. Ibito lami ngiJohn ngokaPhirezi Sibongo. Kuyinto kodwa maswahla mahle ukuthi siphinde ke sidibane kuloko ehlelo Embili Kanye Kanye lo lungena ke ngabo lesibili ngensimbi yemfica kusihlwa kude ke kube insimbi ye10 ebusuku. Luphindze liphindwe ke lohlelo malangeni lamahle ngensimbi ke yemfica ekuseni elangeni lilandzelako njengaleleke la kusasa lapho kutabe kungilesithathu khona. Ningalubukela lo hlelo ku channel 286 ku DSTV njalo kusikhuluma noma ke ngethemba nje ukuthi uchafata esigujana wakho, or you can also follow us live on our YouTube channel at Eswatini TV and many other programs of a similar nature. Embili Kanye Kanye njengoba ke silithebula silifake khona sendele ukuthi ke maswati noma ngabe ede ke bomabona ukuthi as long as ane data akhona ukulandzela luhlelo. Siyethemba ukuthi niyaphila benkosi lenhle. Namuhla ke sidabe sithi ngetha ke indzaba le hambelana nako ke lokuthika beteka esimeni ke sengcondo ikakhulukati ke ngawo ke umkhuhlane wayo ke iCovid-19. Sibambisene ke nebenhlangano la ye Crossroads lesebenisana kakhulu ke emihleni etimeni ke letijwayelekile ke nebantfana etikolweni ngekwehlukana kodwa ke lesikunakile ukuthi sibita lesimo lesikhona njenge new normal. Sesenda ke ama assumptions noma kumbe sifaka etingconvented kufanele dala abantwana ukuthi lokho lokwendekile kuyinto le normal njengoba ke sikubita nge new normal, but liqiniso lithi abantwana etigabeni letahlukahlukene le ndlela lebayibuka ngawo lo mkhuhlane ayifanani nendlela thina ke lesibadzala lesibuka ngakhona ke lo mkhuhlane. Ngeke ngabekisa ngiyabona kusevikini leliphelile ukuthi mangabe bekungathiwa mina nje kusukela ke makucala ke inyanga yendlovu lenkulu ngalesikhathi ke kuba ke ne first partial lockdown in the kingdom of Eswatini solo angide emsebenzini sanhlobo. Ngiyethemba ukuthi kumbe ngabe sekukhona amaphilisi lengwanathako lahambelana nesimo sami sengcondo kumbe neletinye ke tinto leseti triggerishekile ke emtimbeni kodwa ke kubantwana sititshela nje ukuthi ku normal. They have left their friends, their teachers at schools, their dreams. They had high hopes of achieving great results, many of them. Singathi ke ukuthi ingabe nyalo lokubahlele emakhaya for such long periods tingcondo dabo ke timeke kanjani. Kuyasihlupha nathi singumsakato because ike yasho psychologist yethu la noma ke mental healthness lokuthi damage le yendeka engcondweni yemuntu esikhathini lesinyenti mangabe ihamba esikhathi lesithe ingakanakekeleki uyawukhanza ukuthi ke kulukhuna kuyibuyisela emuva. Sidabeke sithi khulumisa letho tindzaba maswahla amahle ikakhulukati ke sifuna nekuva ngabo bantwana ukuthi ngabe yini letinto leti ba affectayo ikakhulukati ngesikhathi lapho khona especially now that we are going to be starting on the month of August. Esikhathini lapho khona kufanele ukuthi ngabe kumbe tikolo setivala kwesibili bawabhalile nama mock exams la khombisa ukuthi ke labo labaya ke bo form 1 bahambe njani batakhona kuyofuna ke tindzawo. Is that still happening? Is it gonna happen? Batawenda njani? Labanye abantu noma batawuchubeka sekutawucala i-third term akucala i-third term benda njani? Kunengi lokungalali kwalabantwana and you find that we need to do something as parents and as stakeholders to make sure that they are in the right state of frame of mind. Sitawukhulumisana ke la nangwane Dlamini longu director waka Crossroads kanye ke nafikile Zwane longu mental healthness uloqhamuka ke University of the Kingdom of Eswatini, who is a lecturer there. We also have two guests that are also going to be joining us online. One is Fanele Chester of the Knowledge Institute. Lovama ke kusita kakhulu ke bantwana lasebaqedile ke esikoleni nalabaqedsako labathola ke mathuba ke ufundza ke ngesheya kwetilwandle. Labanye babo bekufanele ukuthi bahambe angeke basahamba ingabe kubaphethe njani engcondweni nasemphefumulweni lokho kwathi ukuthi bekufanele ngiyogibela indiza ngiyofundza ngesheya kwetilwandle. Some had been admitted in Turkey, in the United States of America, in Taiwan, in China, in Russia and in many other countries. Bakusiphi isimo labo bantwana labo njengoba ke umhlaba lockdown batali baya understand yini lokuthi labantwana kusiko nje ukuthi uhlele ekhaya kumbe uyahamba ngelanga. These are dreams, these are hopes being shattered. And we also have a guest that we are going to hook in from the Republic of South Africa in Bloemfontein. Lotas chazela ukuthi ngabe simo sinjani khona as a doctor or a medical practitioner who is on the ground and dealing with different types of people, including children and parents. Yini lokungendiwa ku mitigate noma kuhlangabetana nato ke tidzingo dabo ke labantwana. Dlamini kunene angikubingelele Nkosi ngiphinze ngibonga ukuthi ube nathi ehlelweni namuhla. Ngicela kuphala ithuba ukuthi uvusele Maswati.
Kuyintokozo kuphindze sibuye emsakadweni wemoya sivusele naseMaswatini John.
Sibonga kakhulu Nkosi fikile thatha wethu ngiyabonga kakhulu ukuthi ube la ube ingcinya lohlelo nalamuhla. Ngicela kuphala ithuba ukuthi uvusele Maswati.
Ngiyakubingelela mbukeli ekhaya Eswatini. Ngiyajabula kuba nawe ukuthi sitococisana ngekuthi isichubeka kanjani kulenkinga lesesibhekane nayo.
Ngike ngasho Nkosi ngebona kumbe bangabe uyambukela Swazi TV noma ke Eswatini TV ungagcini nje ukuthi udala ngabo lesibili ngivetile ehlelweni lwangelisonto Embili Kanye Kanye mangeligocota lokuthi konke lesikwendako thina lesibadzala ikakhulu kade ngathi bese singakwendela lokuthi lesimo sibuyele kuleso kumbe lesisetayele sendele ukuthi bantwa bethu batothola lithuba lekuchubeka naloko kufanele bachubeke nabo because ngibo lesekubonakala ngazo ukuthi ba affected kakhulu info letinyenti letitsinza impilo social and economically tibonakala ngathi tibuya buyele emva kube bohulumende bacecekise kodwa letitsinza abantwana solo timile and we are saying this is a new normal and we are believing ukuthi labantwana nabo bayingcenye lokuthi ha into setitawuhlala tinje whereas that is not the truth. We need to do things in a certain way to make sure ukuthi nakibo tinfo tiyabuyela tibe ngilokuletingiko. We are discussing the importance of us as parents and stakeholders of supporting these children and understanding how they feel during this particular time. Angathi ukuthi lakho lithini Nkosi ngebomcuka abalenza balesiteka kona namuhla.
Asibonge Johnny, thina sichamuka ngelihlangothi leluthi umuntu wakhiwe ngetinhlangothi letehlukene mhlambe singakhuluma nga5 kube bengingabekisa ngelicanza uyalibona licanza nolubuka licanza kodwa naso uhlola la khasi ukhanza limthubi limhlophe ukhanze kunesikhala bese sekuba nalo ligebhuda nomuntu kanjalo unetinhlangothi leting5 kuna physical kuna social kuna emotional kuna mental na spiritual ngiloko kwakho umuntu lo covid ke ufike waveta noma wavumbulula lebe singakunaki itolo kanti bekufanele kuyinkinga le mental health. So lo psychosocial support ke sichamuka ke sithi kunetingoni tebantwana letingakanakeki lena tingeke tanakeka sitaba netinkinga letinkulu kusasa letitawudalwa ukuthi ingcondo yabo ayikanakekeleki kulesikhathi sebumadima baze balimala.
Fikile tatsewethu so undlalile umlangeni lokuthi kuyafuna njengoba nami sengishilo ukahle wena letinfo leti udingenele eclassini netincwadi uyadati lokuthi tithini sikhulumisa indzaba yekuthi kumcoka lokuthi siniketele usito thite lesilibita ngalesilumbi ukuthi psychosocial support kumbe nje singakangeni kuletingontayo lendzaba ungachazela nje Maswati ukuthi masikhuluma ngeimportance of psychosocial support esikhathini lesinjengalesi kakhulu kade kubantwana sikhuluma ngani.
Ngiyabonga Pere. Sinasikhuluma nge-psychosocial support. Ngilolu sito lokuqala luyafana psychosocial first aid iyafana ne-physical first aid lokuthi ulimele uthi ngakuthi ngikubhandishe but akusho ukuthi ngoba sengikubhandishile awusona kuye emtholampilo udakuye emtholampilo kanjalo ke ne-psychosocial support ngilolu sito lokuqala lengidakuniketa lona kuze utokhona ukuthi uphile uze ufike emtholampilo. Ungathi uthi ngoba sowutfolile usito lekucala sotawuhlala nje. I-psychosocial support kahle ngilokuthi ngilobuntu nekuthi usekele lomunye umuntu akhona ukuthi obuye acabange ukuthi uyati nginenkinga mine inkinga lefanele ukuthi ngiyidile nayo ukuze singidochubeka ngiphile.
Ngibona nasihloko lesikhulumisa tikwaso lenzaba namuhla sithi psychosocial support fundamentals in the COVID-19 era. What are some of those fundamentals just in a nutshell kumbe sasiyawakhulumisa ngalinye kumbe ngidawuthi tinfo letingimigogodla lekufanele sinake kakhulu le kungendeka uma singadinaki ungakhanza ukuthi labantwana stawuthi njengoba ngivetile solo simo sabo sikahle njengoba lesimo sesibita nge-new normal and which I think is a tendency with human beings ukuthi makwendeka info lethithu ukhanze ukuthi uvele uya-adapta immediately ukuthi sekunje asale nami ngingena kulolo hlangothi lolo and we are thinking as parents nebantu bethu seba-adoptile lokuthi seba-adaptile kulokuthi kune COVID-19 asaya esikolweni kunormal asebayavuka abadlale you know. Is that really the case? What are some of the fundamentals of the psychosocial support lesikhulumisako namhlanje engafuna kumbe siyiniketela abantwana?
Lekumcoka John lekufuna sisibuke kumfana ukuthi yena still unaso le stress ukuthi angabiyeli esikolweni bengifanele ngibiyele esikolweni kumbe kufanele ngibhale exam like ushito ukuthi ngichubekele phambili lelinye class but yena akalithola lithuba lelo noma bayazama kubafundzisa online ngabo mabona kude nangabo ma SMS ma WhatsApp but lo mfana kunema goals akhe utinjongo takhe labayafuna ukuthi achieve but ngaloku sohlethe lakha akasat achieve ngibekise nje igole ukuthi mhlambe acocisane labanye bantwana abute thishela wakhe directly ukuthi yathi teacher mina ngihlangabetana naku akakutholi. So le psychosocial support ithi noma ngabe akekho lo thishela tawuhlangabetana naye, wena mtali wena bandlo kunaye lo mfana la ekhaya uchubeka ukhulume naye ukuze usatokhona kudila nale thinking lesabhekane nato ukuthi yathi angikhoni ukukhopha ukuthi angade achieve izinto zami empilweni.
Sikhuluma ngebantwana Nkosi, bantwana abahlala emahlathini futhi abahlali botfana kuliqiniso kona ukuthi akhona ema families noma kumbe imindeni lese yaba child headed ngetimo letitsite, kodwa masikhulumisa nje umntwana ngale sigaba kumbe lesi sikhulumisa ngakhona namuhla sisikhulumisa lokuthi lo mntwana unebantu labadzala, lokhu kupita lokuthi nalabantu labadzala bathi position in a certain way to address lama needs labanawo labantwana lahambelana kumbe nalama distresses leka wavetako fikile.
Ngalama fisha John uthi lo hlala nemntwana lo sesigabeni sekuba ngumntali akanake tindo letingenteka tibukeke tithi inkinga kulomntwana, kungenteka kube tindo la khona kulomntwana kuti kudisho verbally or non verbally, ngoba lo munye umntwana uyakhuluma angakasho lutho ngemlomo. So lo psychosocial support uthi naka lenhlala kahle yalo mntwana bese uyenta iba kahle.
What are some of these non-verbal communications leka wavetako emlangeni? Because ngithenge kudla usendlini ngiyaphuma ngemsebentini ngimkhanza ugezile muhle ubukela iTV kumbe noma kumbe ufunza incwadi, kodwa khona tinfo lekungenteka uyadisho uyakhuluma manje nje kulokuthi ngimi anginaki.
Ngitawubekisa nje John ukuthi umfana umshile ukuthengile konke ukudla ekhaya ucabanga ukuthi konke kuhamba kahle, kanzi yena injongo yakhe ukuthi ngifuna ukufunza ngiphase, but ngalo ukuthi akaboni ukuthi yathi vele ngiyafunza yini, uthi khanza ukuthi isikhathi lesiningi sotohlapha ku TV kumbe abukele leto tindzaba ngoba abukele lawo ma cartoons noma amasoapie lawathandzako angasahlanzeli legoli yakhe ukuthi this is what I want in life. Nangabe mhlambe akanselo hlobo lo takhanza lo munye khanza ukuthi sotati valela ekamelweni asahlala ku WhatsApp because ufuna ukuthola information mhlambe ku Facebook ukuthi what is happening lengaphandle. So sithinla psychosocial support asivule lelithuba ukuthi umntwana akangasolo ativalela atikhweshisa buya nihlale phasi nikhulumisane ngalendzaba because kunaletimvo le information uyitholile fine but kunale correct la itholile kunale wrong la itholile. So nakahlethi nawe wena umdzala umnakekela utakhona kumtshela lokuliciniso concerning le COVID-19.
Kumbe siyayikhulumisa lokuthi si segmenta njani le information ukuze ukuthi ifike ngendlela lo mntwana leka khona ukuthi kunje makunje asesibehlukanise labantwana kunanaba labancane kakhulu I thinking yemuntu nje general utabana lokuthi ngeke mina ngibe worried nga grade 1 ukuthi une stress lesingaphatha grade 1 noma lengaphatha I preschool lo ngakhanza lokuthi ngiko lo sekwenda labantwana babe neglected in terms of the psychosocial needs that they have, because labatali kumbe noma labo labahlethi nabo batitshela ukuthi hawo lokhu inkosi yami kusese preschool akwadi lutho lokhu beka grade 1 noma lokhu ka standard 1 ikhona info yokuthi mangabe kumbe uneminyaka kumbe asengibekise nje ngaphasi kwalelishumi asik affect lesimo lesikhona which may cause parents to neglect the needs of these children.
Ngiyabonga John, si stress kude lesingamthinzi ulikuthinza ngisho uluswane stress ubona uphethwe stress, so ungajesi ngoba luswane lolu ngeke libe ne stress.
Uyahleka Dlamini ndaceleni ukuthi mawuthi stress isiphatha ngisho uswane, but I think really it provokes now the severity of the question that I'm asking lokuthi lona lobeka phatha ibookcase noma ijuice bottle esikolweni lona 3 years noma lona 4 years asaye preschool, is it an honest reaction to believe lokuthi lo mfana vele angaba stressed?
Kakhulu John, kakhulu, because yena mhlawumbe utambona ukuthi ngoba akakhoni yena ukukhuluma ukuthi uyathi ngiphethwe stress na akakhoni ukuthi understand ukuthi what is happening in me, so utambona ngale behavior la dase uyayikhombisa ukuthi uyathi ngiphethwe stress. Ngibekise ukuthi mhlambe lo munye umfana utawukhanza sekapheka ukulwa nawe uba sewuthi angikhelele emandi khanza ukuthi so uyakuthethisa akasakhonda ukuthi akanasenze ukuthi ungumake. So leso stress leso if ungato understand ukuthi uyahle mfana phethe stress utakhanza ummessage lo mnye mhlambe achamuke ngalenye indlela ukuthi utawuthi yathi ngathi kulamalanga songithanza kakhulu kanti hayi ukuthi usowenda kakhulu ukuthanza mhlambe sokuchamba kakhulu uyakuhaka uyakucabuza wenda lokho hayi ukuthi lokho kwenda ngoba vele kukwendeka but ngile stress akade kufanele asikhokhe kanjani so kumcwela ukuthi umkhulumise andokhona indlela atokhona naye ukukhuluma stress ngibekise nje nita draw pass ni draw nalomvana kuze atokhona ku draw ukuthi okay yathi mina this is what is hurting me mhlambe ukuthi I'm not going to school ndakhona ukubona nani senidraw lapha pass so kumcwala ukuthi vele ube naye ungathi nje kusena akaphathwa ngile stress ngoba naye simphethe le stress mana akakwadi lokusho ukuthi yathi ngiphethwe stress njengoba wena ukhona kungitshela ukuthi uphethwe stress
sike saba nemlingano wakho la wakamhlanga wakhuluma indzaba lehambelana nekuthi esikhathini lesinyende ngibekisa nje ngalokuthi sesisegmentile le population lesikhuluma ngayo wabekisa ngokuthi banifana kumbe labana labo 3 years to the age of 6 bakhuluma kakhulu ngalokubuta elongakhanza ukuthi batali kumbe sebaba irritated lokuthi umntwana ngiyabekisa utawuphele kubuta ukuthi emarket ivulwa nini tikolo ebabe kanti tikolo athi tawuvulwa nini ukhanze ukuthi lo mntali lo mntwana lo mntali kumbe sowuva ngazi ukuthi uyathi ngiyiphendvulile lenzaba le 3 weeks ago but lo mntwana keeps asking you know banga react kanjani batali noma kumbe bangasihandlisha njani leso simo leso because washo umhlangano ukuthi if ungakuphendvuli lokho kukhona lokwakhako la ngcondweni nalomntwana but I don't know what answer these parents should give to bantwana laba kuleso sigaba leso because lo mbuto sebawubute kaningi nalabatala basathi lokuthi kumbe bangathini sebaze bayawu ignore noma kumbe sebayawuthalalisela lo mbuto kanti ngekwenta njalo kukhona ingoti lebangekako la engcondweni
kuyenteka lokuthi vele umntali ugcine sowudzineka but salu understand lokudzineka akwendiwa ukuthi udzinwa kuloso mfana yakubuta kwanawe sikuphethe le stress ukuthi uyathi umfana namsolo ativula vele tikola so lupheke ungibuta this question and ngiphendvulile akangiva so kumcwala ukuthi wena ucale ucalmishe down utokhona bese udilisha lo mfana because if you don't calm down yourself when utathanza vele so umthethisa so mkhokhela ngaphandle lo mfana ungasakhona kumsida
ngiyanaka ngosi lokuthi esikhathini lesinyende le information lephuma la ngaphandle noma lo lwati lesiluniketa la ngaphandle kakhulu kade ngale COVID-19 lwati loluchamuka ngathi from the top kude nje lolu bese luyehluka ukuthi hayi lo luconzene nebantwana lo luconzene nebantu abadzala so that labantwana batokhona ku receiver ku level yabo lokuphuma eredweni lokulalelwa ngumntwana nalokulalelwa ngimi ngaphandle kwale ngoma COVID-19 corona sebayayathi abantu kodwa ngizama lokubekisa lokuthi kulokunye dinifo letingabathusa labantwana lokuthi njenganamuhla ngiyabekisa sivuke seva ukuthi kunababili asebashonile tinzabeni makuvela lenfo leyo kumbe lo mntwana sokucabanga ukuthi ngendeka namake afe ngendeka nababe afe angathi ukuthi singakusebenta kanjani lokuthi le information lephuma la kule mithombo ngekwehlukana siba protect labantwana noma siyisebende ngendlela yokuthi ifike ingcondweni tabo kuloko lebatakuthola angathi kulokubonile wena Nkosi ukuthi singakulungisa kanjani loku yikhipha ifike la kibo ngendlela kumbe letabalungela ngakhona
ngiyabonga John ngicabanga ukuthi vele umthwalo lomnengi usemtalini uthi akhona kuyi break down le information ibe age appropriate angibekise John ngenzaba ukuthi nasikhuluma namhlanga ukwamkhothala ukuthi kude lesingeke sesimtshele kona umntwana manje asikulinganise lesilinganiso sako sibe ngangaye ngicela kubekisa lapha sikhuluma kuvamise kuvela inombolo ema statistics kulikhuni ke kwa understand ema statistics recently besine case ye HIV kuphuma ema statistics ngifuna ukubekisela ngaloko kwake kwentiwa ngilomnye thishela afundisa abantu abakhe primary ngale infection rate akhuluma ke ngekuthi kubekiswa ukuthi kubo 30% or 26% wathatha abantwana babang 10 this was a grade 3 class wababeka la wabanika emaswidi bong 10 wase ukuthi angibekise ukuthi kumbe wabanika ema-ekla bong 10 wase uthatha babili noma bathathu wabanika emaswidi lehlukile uzama ukutshengisa ukuthi babili noma bathathu ekhulwini ipercentage uyabona ukuthi kulabantwana sekuyabonakala kuyacaca ukuthi 2/10 or 3/10 bathole lokuhlukile so sike ba infected inasikhuluma ngeinfection sithi laba kulabanengi ngibo labane HIV
labatholela amaswidi lahlukile
labatholela amaswidi lahlukile
uba bekusela ngendlela lebakhona lokuyiconza
awuvake sithi ke John batali abathi bangayithola le information bese bayilungisela ilingane ukuthi ingafika kubantwana angibekise nje nasikhuluma ngema cases ukuthi nyale ama cases athi roughly 1.8 ema recoveries we are at around 53% lo show simunye kulababili akusibo bonke la labaneligciwane labatoshona singakubekisa ukuthi munye kubabili baya recover naba labashonile bangaka sikhone kwakha kufike kwakha isense kulomntwana kungamthusi
yeah ngicabanga nje nalokuthi ifikile kuimportant kokona lokuthi nje sibakhulumise labantwana because all they know is that iyabulalana le corona ngeke sihletile endlini nekuthi namuhla bangaka labayitholile shothi vele seta uchubeka sihlali angathi lokuthi ngiphi approach lebangayisebenzisa abatali when this information comes on a daily basis so kubekisile lokunye umlangeni kodwa ngifuna lokuthi sizame lokukwenda ngendlela lo mtali atothatha active responsibility yokuyi-interpreta le information kumbe njengoba asho Dlamini they may not be health experts but angeva eredweni nomfana ukuthi kufe umuntu bese kumbe ulala worried njengoba ngibekisile angathi ukuthi ngikuphi lokunye lebangakwenda abatali to on a daily basis sit down with these kids and try and discuss this information
kusitala ukuthi umkhulumise lo mfana kuze into understandana kumtshela ukuthi vele kwentekani nyalo even umbekele ukuthi okay kunalama statistics lawo ubese uyamba ukuthi okay kuto kwendekani njengokuthi sitakwenza lesimo akunawuhlala kunje akunoba nginamuhla akunoba kusasa but lokusala kusitawukwenza lesimo akangathi ngoba kunale covid sesitawuhlala sibulawa icovid sitawukwenza and bakhona bodokotela labakhona kokucilonga ukuthi sitawugcina silapheke kanjani noma akusite bonke nalabo labagulako vele lokuqiniso lokuthi akusibo bonke labatawu kufa bani batawuphila lokugula lokhu kuyalapheka so kumcala ukuthi uba direct lokuthi timvo titawu kwenza and kumcala ukuthi lo mfana sikhathi esiningi tiniketele lithuba lekuthi ase umlalele ukuthi yena ema concerns akhe athini ungathi nje okay ngidamniketa yonke information la ngayidzingi mnike lokulakudzinga ko yena because vele awunawucabanga ukuthi wena utawufuna kwadinga ukuthi lalabafile babulawe yini bocomorbid mhlambe ufuna kwati ukuthi loku bagula batagcina baphilile yini so addressa lokhu lakufunako lo mfana ukuthi udzinga kukwati
sehlelweni Embili Kanye Kanye masibuya amaswahla amahle sitawukhulumisa ngidambuta afikile la ngidawubekisa ngebhola la ibholeni uyukhanze ukuthi iTimbe ku3 not ilida ngefirst half mayibuya la seyilahlekelwe ifocus sekungena 4 emagoli seyikhala pass leyo team lebe icale ifirst half inemagoli lamathathu importance ye focus njengoba labantwana sebaphumile ke esikoleni for prolonged periods ingabe kungakanani kuba affecta kangakanani ukuthi sebahambe esikoleni isikhathi lesitha how do we restore that focus what are some of the things we can do as parents to make sure that abantwana they stay on the line bangathi babuyela esikoleni ukhanze ukuthi le energy yabo vele seyipass noma sesingafunda mosivele sangifundzela lide sitawukunya mathe sibuye masinyane.
The change in technology, out-of-home digital media is designed to grab the attention of people who are always on the go. You can now watch your favorite show, Usile Breakfast Show and Dinzaba at 7 on your favorite YouTube channel.
It's simple. You can stream these shows by following these quick, easy steps. Number 1, open YouTube. Number 2, search for Eswatini TV and click on Eswatini TV. Number 3, after you had entered on Eswatini TV, look for Dinzaba or KPS. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the bell button to get notifications of our video uploads and streams. And lastly, enjoy the stream. Stay home and watch Eswatini TV. Stay safe.
Silinde lusuku olukhulu lokubuya kukaJesu lapha bangcwele.
Sinibusele maswati lamahle kanye nabo bonke bazalwane eveni laseswatini. Igama lami ngingu-Ayandazwane, Health Promotions Officer walohlelo lolushasha lolubitwa ngekuthi yi-Faith and Community Initiative, kafishane FCI.
Njengoba sisho sobe sikhuluma ngokusebenzisana nezibani, bafundisi nisho njalo namabani anebantu akhiwa abantu lebafikayo lebangela lamaswati lesikhuluma ngawo. And kuyindlela nje kuba niyona leyo platform lenye lekubonakala ukuthi singayisebenzisa, kwabonakala even then singayisebenzisa ukuthi sikhone ukuthi sifike kubo bonke abantu.
Ikakhulu lubuke ukuthi bantu basitakale kwekuqala endzabeni ukuthi kwanze umsebenzi wokuvikela igciwane le-HIV la Kangwane.
But labantu bebathi disclose bona bathi sho bona sibanjani baphathekile bathandazelwe labo banlabo nabativa bangcono bebasithatha hayi ngitiva sengiphilile mina asizange ngisho kanye ndakunika nje good example sibatshela sabayekela amaphilisi.
Namhla ke ngibheka utokhuthatha indvodza ntokhuthatha babe kuthi asade isimo sakhe sengadi kumcoka ukuthi usade isimo sengadi kuze utokhombisa luthando lonalo emndenini wakho, utokhombisa luthando lonalo nasemphakathini.
We will come back and have our guest in Bloemfontein in the Republic of South Africa, who is also going to be part of our discussion here today. Ngingaveda maswati lamahle lokuthi njengoba ke sizamile naloku bahlukanisa ikhathi labantwana sibekise ngalabancane kakhulu lokhanza ukuthi solo bayabuta tikolo tivulwanini kunanaba ke lebe basolo balungiselela ukuthi ngemuva kokwenta kahle ke ecedzeni isikole bathola ke ama scholarships bahamba bayofunda ke bayahamba bayofunda ngeshaya kwetilwandle kubomelika kuboTurkey kuboChina bo-Taiwan and so on and so forth. Kuba khona kwalomkhuhlane kubaphethe kabi kakhulu abantwana ngalokuthi emave avalile akayemukeli umuntu njengoba sathi ukuthi netindi zake vele grounded. Kunafanele Chester lesitawukhuluma naye lo director we institute yatona ukuthi ke knowledge institute lesita kakhulu kuvula lamathuba emifundzate ke kubantwana iba assist noma ibelekelele ukuthi bagcine ke baphumelele. Sitamkhulumisa fanele sive ukuthi ngabe vele mbambamba simo sinjani kubantwana kumbe labe sebane mathemba ukuthi bayahamba. Fanele, thank you so much for being with us on the show, Embili Kanye Kanye, this evening, and welcome to the show.
Sanibonani babukele ekhaya, sanibonani Mr. John Perry, siyabonga ukuthi ngibe khona in the show namhla. Utakhuluma ngebafundi labafuna ukuyofunda ngaphandle kwelwandle.
Kubonga thina kakhulu fanele ngiyakhumbula makutawuphela umnyaka wanga 2019 besihleti nawe on the same studio sikhulumisa indzaba yema opportunities lenwavulela ke bafundi labafuna ukufunda ngeshaya kwetilwandle ukuthi yini lekufuna ukuthi bakwende noma kumbe leto tingonde kufuna batihambe baze bayofuna ukuyofunda. Ngiyethemba lokuthi labanye babo bevele bese bayaphumelele kutawufuna ukuthi bahambe baze bayofika lena ngeshaya kwetilwandle kwase kufika nangomkhuhlane angathi ukuthi kumbe sinjani lesimo kulabo bafundi bakhona indlela laba affected nekuthi mangabe bakhona labo laba affected laba bafunzi ngiyethemba baphethwena inhloko. Is it really the end of the world for them? Because if I can't go to America to study as per my goals and my ambition, this means I'm going to be depressed and I don't know what else to do. How is the situation and what is your view of the current situation in terms of how the students need to respond?
Ngiyabonga lo mbuto lo lomqoka kakhulu because i-situation vele lesifacile nyalo as practitioners in the education industry, especially bafundi nebatali netikolwa. So the COVID-19 is not only a health pandemic, it is an education pandemic for bafundi, it is an economic pandemic for bafulabasebendako nebafulabonemabusiness. So the situation letsinse wonke muntu. So vele nemafundi nabo is a very dire situation at the moment. However, loko ngikhuthaza ukuthi ngibone ukuthi emanyuvesi akhuthele kufona solutions ukuthi imfundo ingaqhubeka kanjani and anga-adapta njani wona to the situation so that bafundi bakhona ukuthola imfundo nempilo itawukhona ukuqhubeka. njengoba tibhedlela zishintsha njengoba amabhizinisi ashintsha nalaba universities nawo ayashintsha their approach of delivering education to bafundzi. So kimi nginema-point lamathathu lebengifise kuwa-sharisha nebabukeli namuhla based on imibuto lebengithole kubatali nebafundzi in the past month lengiva ngathi ukuthi ingabasiza to start thinking about a way forward in a healthy and productive way.
You can go ahead and share some of those points, and obviously njengoba ngishilo bafundzi bangafuna lokwati ukuthi scholarship sami lebengisitfolile lokho sengingasakhona igibele indiza ngiyofika lena kusho ukuthi vele sengilahlekelwe yini ukuthi awende kanjani vele.
Okay, so ngiyabonga kakhulu, ngiyabonga futhi kuba kuma-guest lakhona namhla on the show labasite kakhulu to lay the groundwork ukuthi kwekuqala lekumele sikubuke is i-mental health. So kimi I'm going to talk about mental health point lami lekuqala to answer umbuto wakho. The second thing I will talk about is communication, because loko umntokanyalo is not kuhlala ekhaya ubambe inhloko, is to communicate to the universities to find a way forward. And then next title point will be about starting to prepare for a plan B. So kuqala ke point lekuqala ukuthi I understand ukuthi batali nebafundzi bahlele ekhaya they are confused ukuthi kumele bente njani nyalo ngoma ema-visa akatholakali, so there is the immigration side of things ukuthi ngisho ngabe i-university yami ne-scholarship sami solo sisekhona angikhoni ukuthola ne-visa lengivumela ukuthi ngihambe ngiye kuleli veleyo, or even if leyo visa ngiyitholile kunema-travel restrictions because phela nangabe uyofunda ngaphandle kangwane kumele ukuthi wendlule e-South Africa, and so far that is not possible. So qala bengifuna ukusho ukuthi bafundzi nebatali they must be aware that vele tempo zitawusuka, we are in a global pandemic. Bantu batawuluza imisebenzi labanye batawuluza batali babo nebantwana babo. So nangabe wena uba ngathi uluze lithuba lakho lokuthi ugibele indiza, yathi ukuthi that is okay, we are in a global pandemic. Wonke umuntu is facing this situation. So ungeva ngazi ukuthi wena your whole life is over nguwe kuphela, ngumhlaba wonke who is facing this situation. When you look at it in that way, I think it makes you feel better to say, okay, I'm not the only one who's going through this. So let me see what other people are doing to get through this situation. That is very, very important. It's just to frame the mindset who's faced in this situation. One day, Taiwan, so since someone but all over the world, not just who are in the same position as you. So you should not feel bad to think that it's you, it's not you, we are in a global pandemic.
Fanele ungabe bakhona yini emanyuvesi kulawa kumbe lebesi bebawabukile bafundze ngiyabekisa kumbe lena kubomelika nakubo Turkey nakubo Taiwan, yebo ukhona lo mkhuhlane lathi akusanandzaba ngeke usayigibela indiza kodwa kufundza kutawuchubeka to deliver maybe the programs online. I don't know if there's opportunities like that. Yes, the students may be suffering in terms of being on campus on the other side of the ocean, but at least the program is still going to continue.
Yes. Thank you so much for that feedback. Noma, it fits very nicely. Let's which is on communication. So once the students never recognize, okay, this is happening globally, the students have to first identify, okay, mina bebangithethe kuphi, and lapho bangithethe khona injani i-situation. Asengibekise nje eMelika. eMelika i-situation yakhona is very, very different from the situation le endekako eTaiwan. Beyond the COVID pandemic, because Emelika, there's also elections that are ongoing. So last week, Emelika, for my students who have been admitted. Emelika, but the nangabe bafundi, ngeke bafunde eclassini, but abafunza via online. Nangabe bafunza online kuphela, kusho ukuthi abaphume eMelika bapiyele in their own country. So that student is facing a completely different situation from a student, let's say, whereby if university is willing to welcome the students on campus, but thinking it may just be a travel restriction. So Logumtoa is for the students to then communicate with that university, to figure out what have the universities put in place in this situation. Many of them will come with a combination of solutions. Emelika, for example, they've said, onke ma-class ataba virtual, ataba online, until 2021. Nako loko nawo eMelika. Loko neka Botswana ukuthi lamanye amaklasi ataba virtual, lamanye amaklasi ataba in person. Bafundi batawusebenza ngemashift. eTaiwan utafunda ukuthi kule university leyo bonke bafundi bayafunda but encenye they have shifted the timetable. So kude impendulo yinye ukuthi wena nafunda wena nabe ngokufunda abroad nayi impendulo. Lokumqoka is point number 2. Communicate with your university. Lengakusho mina kubafundi ukuthi universities are working day and night to find a solution and they care about students coming to campus. But because we're in a pandemic, they may be slow in communicating with students who are regular updates. So like Melema Spafos Baguende are 5 things. Westala, send an email to that university, or scholarship program, let's say, who the university normal scholarship program, let's share funds because of the COVID. Labata is they will put contingencies in place, and this is what we're seeing. But Emma students in the Agati because they have not been in touch. So one, I send the email, or Nangabele University is put down in Java Botana Abasaye Lucio, and Lama teachers are Batawa Nabo, whether in their acceptance letter or in their admission letter or any of those documents. But they must be proactive in seeking that information about next steps. What start? Yonke website university lengibukile minenyalo ifaka information about COVID on the website of that university. So if umfundi aya kule university yakhe let's say bamthethe ku UWC America ngoma eCanada, uma uya kule website leyo kuba nelpage leliba la ku front page lelichaza ukuthi siku COVID kwenteka ninyalo especially for incoming students. And then kwagcina ukuthi these same universities have social media pages that they're updating on a daily basis. Sinanje as the Knowledge Institute, that is what we are checking on a daily basis. Kubona kuti asin ema update la masa as the theme of the COVID depends kushinja. But ngibengithetha ngafisa kusho bafundi ukuthi ngicela ukuthi babe patient, nabatali babe patient. Don't give up. All you have to do is find information to empower yourself to know what is happening with my situation right now. But also trust ukuthi nangabe uniketwe scholarship, kude lo tokubuka le scholarship leso. Ngemthetho that would be illegal. And nangabe uniketwe indzawo e-university, kude lo tokubuka le ndzawo leyo, that would be illegal. And kupractice ukuthi nangabe u-apply le scholarship, akusho ukuthi so sitfolile. But nangabe usitfolile ngeke bakumuke because but recognize that you are a good student and bayafuna wena fanele testa wena John Pires kule university. So when I came back ukuthi lenzawo yakho nescholarship yakho sikhona and then find a way ukuthi how do you continue learning given lama travel restrictions lekusho ukuthi awukhona ukuya ke live leyo nyalo but ungakhona kufunda online and know the process for your own university or for your own scholarship program.
Fanele siyabonga kakhulu. I think uvete emaphuzu lamcwa kakhulu and I think I like the energy in your voice. It makes everyone believe lokuthi if they were to follow some of the guidelines you are giving them, ma stress levels lebakathe baphethe atawugcina sekehlile. Thank you so much for being part of Embili Kanye Kanye this evening.
Siyabonga kakhulu. Thank you.
We talk to our guest in South Africa, Bloemfontein. Ukhuluma indzaba lebengithi kumbe ndakubuta yona. Indzaba yekuthi akungabi ngathi ngoba kusekunalo mkhuhlane lengcondo vethu kumbe bese seyiyayekela noma kumbe seyiyakhathala kube kusengegama le give up, you know, the importance of being focused.
So siyabonga umculo kuba focused like ngeke ngasho kuleli viki ephele ukuthi once ufanele utibone lokuthi uyati senginale challenge ingcondo yami seyiyathikabeteka sengiphe kucabanga kakhulu about this issue lengibhekane nayo. Then sihlala phansi and refocus ukuthi yini lokwendeka kwencomveni yami yini lengikucabangako bese usungakufocus bese uzama ukuaddressa ukuthi so kusesenkucabangela bese uyacategorize ukuthi okay lokho ungakhona ukuchange. For instance ubekisile ukuthi angeke ukhona ukuchange ukuthi ngeke usakhona kuhamba because of lema restrictions zakhona but ungakhona ukuchubeka ukuthi uchubeke ufunze online ngeke ni communicate na university yakho. So kumcwalo ukuthi you focus on what kusikwendekani so that utokhona ukuthi hlele mbisa kahle.
yeah lelinye igama lebalisebenzisa ngesilumbi ngilokhu regrouper kwendekile lokwendekile kumbe umkhuhlane ushaya wasithela phansi, get up and then think again, what is the way forward. I do have on the line right now Anachi Kleinhas in Bethlehem in the Republic of South Africa, just next to Bloemfontein in the Free State. She is a medical doctor. She has been a practitioner for almost 20 to 25 years. Basebenzisana kakhulu nama communities in the Republic of South Africa to see what psychosocial needs or support they can offer to vulnerable communities. Siteka simcele Anachi just because she is a medical doctor and she receives so many patients in the hospital where she is based. We just want to find out how other people are responding in their countries and what they think are some of the challenges that we are facing. New cases. Anachi, thank you so much for being with us on the show, and may I take this opportunity to welcome you on Embili Kanye Kanye on our platform here today.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here, and I hope a lot of questions get answered tonight.
And like I am saying, we are privileged and I really appreciate the moment to have a short discussion with you. You are a medical doctor based in a regional hospital in the Republic of South Africa. You do receive a lot of patients in where you are. How is the situation like in terms of anxiety that you may see with patients or relatives of patients that have been affected by COVID-19 and children in particular?
Yeah, I think it's important to realize this is a new thing for all of us, which means that the whole situation in the whole world is flexible and changing, and new information is coming in almost weekly. So things change, and I think the unsure future is what contributes a lot to the anxiety and stress levels in everybody. To me, this is something that is really affecting every single one in the country, but I always remind myself it's affecting everybody in the whole world. So we are all in this together. People are stressed because they realize their future. They cannot make plans. They're not sure what's going to happen. They are worried about getting ill. They're worried about relatives getting ill. So there's a lot of stress. I see it in the healthcare professionals as well, because we are worried, because we know we are exposed more than others. And I see it even in people who come to the hospital with unrelated diseases. They are worried of catching the disease, coming into the clinic, into the hospital. They are worried about being exposed. And I'm also picking up that people there's some sort of embarrassment about testing positive or being tested. And I'm very worried about that, because to me, that is not necessary at all. If you look at how the virus is spread by droplets from the nose and the mouth, there is no way you can, by changing your behavior, totally prevent catching the disease. You can always limit your risk. And that's why we are using masks, social distancing, hand washing, hand sanitizing to prevent the spread of those droplets. But it's very important to realize all these measures is not stopping the spread of the virus. It's just limiting the spread of the virus. So people are exposed, and that's contributing to everybody's stress levels. The abnormal situation, yes?
We had a discussion earlier on prior to the show. You made mention of the fact that it is important for everyone to take responsibility during this period. And you made some examples of precautions that you as a medical doctor are taking to make sure that you protect your family, for instance. What are some of these precautions and the importance of making sure that everyone takes responsibility to make sure that we overcome the circumstances that we are faced with?
Okay, as you know, the spread of the disease is through droplets coming through your mouth when you cough or speak, and through your nose when you sneeze or blow your nose. So it's very important to be totally aware of where your hands are, of wearing a mask as soon as you step outside your car, outside your private space, your home. So going into the hospital, I wear a mask. Immediately when I arrive, my temperature gets taken at the hospital and I get screened for symptoms of flu. Every single patient coming into and worker coming into the hospital is screened. Then I go to my clinic where I work. I sanitize my hands, I keep my mask on, and I work and I wash my hands in between every patient, and every patient must sanitize their hands before they come into my examining room. The bed gets sanitized every time the patient leaves. Now, when I plan my day, when I get up in the morning and we need maybe, for example, bread or milk, I plan my day so that when I go home after work, I stop at the shop. So I do everything in one trip. I don't go home and then go out again. Then when I arrive, me and my husband, when we arrive at home, we have a laundry basket standing at our back door. We come into the house, we put all our clothes into the laundry basket and we go to shower before we eat, drink, greet each other, and then we start the day at home. So we try to leave the germs, the virus, outside.
A lot of parents are worried for their children, Anachi, and they are saying, what if I let my children go to school? I can't let them go out to play, you know. What is your advice? What is your view? How can parents support, as the topic is today? We're trying to provide psychosocial support, especially to the younger affected group, you know. How can we help them to cope with the situation?
Okay, to me, that question has two answers. The first answer is children that is really vulnerable, and that is children with asthma and children with diabetes who inject themselves with insulin. They are to limit contact outside with other people as much as possible, for as long as possible. Other children's immune systems, it seems like we are finding, remember this is still new, we have the current information shows that children at the moment, their immune systems is very strong. They get the disease, they can infect other people, but the disease is not as heavy in the children as in the adults. So I think our children is less at risk than our grandparents, but I think our children are the ones who we must protect because they can give the disease to a grandparent if the grandparent is sharing the home. So I would think closely. Each individual situation differs. And I would follow the rules that is given by government in each country because they've collected a lot of different viewpoints and information. And usually their direction is very well supported by facts.
Other people still stigmatize people because of COVID-19. I don't know if you are experiencing issues of stigma in the Republic of South Africa or in the area where you are based, you know, because sometimes I may be COVID-19 positive and not be I'm able to declare my status or be comfortable going out because of the way I am being received by society. Should we be stigmatized for being positive?
Definitely not. This is a disease, a virus that I caught by doing nothing wrong. It's not my fault I caught the virus. Some of us are going to get the virus. Before we can move past the coronavirus period in the world, some of us are going to get positive. And it's actually grace that some won't get it. It's not because I'm good or I'm doing everything right, that I'm not going to get the disease. So we have to act responsible. We have to wear our masks, do the social distancing, wash our hands. But we, even though doing that, some of us will get the disease. And it's not by making a mistake. And people get stigmatized, I think, rather because I don't want to catch the disease. So if you have it, please stay away. And but I don't think we need to isolate. When a person tests positive, they need to isolate to protect other people. But there's no embarrassment, there's no scandal, there's no wrongdoing in becoming coronavirus positive.
Communities doing there? I know you are also a member of Crossroads. You've been serving for 14 years. The importance of different stakeholders to reach out to vulnerable communities. What are some of the stakeholders, like individuals and other groups, doing to reach out to affected stakeholders?
Okay. What happens at the moment? In our country, we call them peace job workers, people who come and work for a day and gets paid for the day. Because of the lockdown and the isolation, a lot of them don't have any work and any income. So the poor community has grown a lot. There's a lot of suffering, hunger, people having not having clothes, not having good places to keep clean, to wash their hands, running water. And part of this is driven by government. So there is people giving running water being prepared to a lot of the communities, but also a lot of the churches has started to collect food parcels and sanitary parcels, masks, which gets taken to the poorer communities and distributed. So a lot of the charity organizations, a lot of the churches have bought into this. We need to support the community. A lot of schools also support the needy children in the schools with airtime and things like that. I know some of the companies like Vodacom has given free airtime to people. So there is lots that the community is doing here. To me, we are talking about the new normal. I think we should start to talk about the better normal, because there's lots of lessons to be learned from this situation. And one of the big lessons and one of my big passions in this situation is creating a healthier family, a psychologically healthier family. And you know, with social media and the children having phones, we don't communicate as families anymore. And to me, I feel this is the time to create time, to spend time with families, as a family, around a table, around dinner time or supper time, to spend time, to eat a meal and to talk. And to ask the children, how was your day? What was bad today? What was good today? What did you enjoy? What made you sad? And to get the children to start talking. But because as soon as we get the children to learn to talk about their emotions, they're going to relieve some of the stress. And I think that is a very important fact.
Thank you so much, and I think because of time we will have to cut short our interview right here, but I like the fact that you are bringing in a new perspective. Let's not just say this is a new normal, but let's also talk about making it a better normal, because these are really difficult moments for everyone. But thank you so much for talking to Eswatini TV on this platform here tonight. We need to create a better normal, and I think I like this perspective. This sums up everything we've been trying to do here today. Konke lesikwendako asikwendele ukuthi lesimo sibe ngilesingcono. Singasemukeli nje kodwa kufana nekuhlala emantini labilako ngisho njalo uthi let us create a better normal.
John, in trying to create a better normal, next week we will be talking about staying healthy all round.
The importance of listening and of creating healthy families. This is the opportunity. We live in a world full of noises. Some of these noises are in our hearts, in our minds. Our children are talking, but we are not even listening. What can we do as parents to assist these children?
ngiyathandzana ukuthi asesibuke ukuthi sesine better normal lokuthi sesiyakhona kuhlala phasi nalabantu bethu sikhona kubalalela kumgcwalo kumlalela uthi ungamlalela ke bese uyamchazela onke lama concerns akhe labhekene nawo ungajaki kuyomjaja ukuthi mosivele ubudlala imini yonke ukude la ulokwendako so yini le ngakukhuluma nawo so asisakhe lesasikhathi sibe nabo abantu bethu sicocisane nabo kuze batokhona kusitakala
yeah ukhulume ngenza baye psychological first aid bengicala kuliva le temlelo ngathi nje ukuthi I first aid uyiniketa umuntu mangabe kumbe ulimalimele esoyambhandisha umgeza leso silonda but kune psychological first help just in a nutshell what is this so that every parent can try and apply that on their children tonight.
Basically le psychological first aid ngilokuthi udiniketa lelithuba lekumlalela lo mfana uthi ungamlalela ke bese uya actor kuloko kulama concerns akhe so ukhona kumchazela ukuthi what is happening yini lokutawenda lonke ukukhohle lokuthi umnikete phela lo mfana lithemba ukuthi asinawuhlala simo sinje sitawukwenza bodokotela bazama ukuthi basinikete emakhatha kuze sichubeke siphile nekuthi ke kumcwa ukuthi ke kuze alumfana ahlale a safe ukuthi umnikete kudla adle kahle akhone kuphinze ashukumisa umtimba ngekuyodlala ngaphandle kuze kusatonyusa lamasotsha akhe ekuphila lokho kutamenda ukuthi agcina aphilile but ke nasitawukhwesha kuloko sitakhanza kusomfana asisa yena sohlala akhweshile angasa understand ukuthi yini lokwentekako ifuture imbeka phi yena.
Ngosi ngiyabonga Dlamini wekunene ukuthi sithole nalabelumbile ngeshares bakhulumise namhlanje umlumbiso ukuthi sidile la ukuthi let us not just call this a new normal but let's also make it a better normal. Thank you so much for your contribution on this show and we really appreciate what you are bringing. Figile, thank you so much once again for being part of the show for the second consecutive time. I think this is the third time you've been with us right now and thank you so much. We really appreciate your input. And to Anachi in the Republic of South Africa, thank you so much also for being part of our show here tonight. And to our viewers at home, thank you so much Eswatini and all over the world where you are watching Embili Kanye Kanye. Sithi ke Jehova kasigcina maswahla mahle sibonane ngalokudaba siphilile. Nitsale kahle.